some shine. Out there with our brothers, speed is the drug. Better pick the pace up, 'cause racing's in my blood. No worries of tomorrow, but tonight we're gonna light 'em up. I said light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up. Oh, I said light 'em up. Checkers in the mean machine, and tonight we're gonna light 'em up. I said light 'em up, light 'em up. Oh, I said light 'em up. Time to run some shine. Winocle grip in the neon light, trading pain in the heart of the fight. Shifting gears till the edge feels right. Start 'em up, hear the engines cry. Let the thunder roll, leave no doubt. All or nothing when the checkers come out. Doors beating doors in an all-out fight. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Wednesday night! Legends born in the heat of the fight. Trading pain under stadium lights. Racing roots run deep here. We're racing on a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Every track has a story to tell. Every wall has been one driver's hell. Back in the saddle we go. Ring the bell like a moonshiner. We're riding on rails. Checkers on record. Send it in, set sail. Legends born in the heat of the fight. Trading pain under stadium lights. Racing roots run deep here. We're racing on a Moonshiners Wednesday night. This is 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 a Moonshiners Wednesday night.
Tonight, the quest to battle for road course supremacy continues. But this time, there's added pressure. The Moonshiners Racing League in its GMD Janitorial Cup Series has made its way to wine country, as we're all set to go for the first to Engage Motorsports 250 from iRacing's virtual Sonoma Raceway here on Precision. A packed booth here tonight. I'm Justin Prince alongside with the booth for tonight. Zach Case. We also bring in Adam Thompson for tonight's coverage. Cody Banta will be down on pit road. Our producer is Ryan Bauer. He's using cameras provided once again by Whiplash Sim Cams. Tonight, though, we get ready to battle here at Sonoma. Most importantly, on the minds of many, the in-season challenge kicks off tonight, Zach, and that means plenty of opportunities to see some potential upsets.
Yeah, obviously in real life when they introduced this last year on the TNT broadcast, it was a great showing and a great race inside the race that we've already saw. So that's going to be fun tonight here for MRL. We'll see what upsets we do see. We'll see what favorites get on to the next round. And it's going to be a fun little in-season tournament that we're going to get to see.
And Adam, first time for you this season when it comes to this broadcast booth. Obviously, this is not an easy track to start things off because a lot of people have some challenges when it comes to Sonoma because of the amount of elevation change.
Well, it's also very windy, very fast-paced. You got to make the moves right at the right time. Of course, me being down here at turns 9, 10, and 11, we're going to see a lot of action headed into turn 11 to try and make any sort of moves. We've seen it in the past, the battles between Shane Van Gisbergen and Connor Zilic last season. It's going to be a heck of a showdown here at Sonoma.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the schedule coming into tonight. So, this in-season challenge, brought to you by Icon Apparel Company, will take place at Sonoma, Chicagoland, Echo Park, North Wilkesboro, and Indianapolis. There are some cool opportunities for prizes along those ranges for the drivers if they come out on top. But in the Impact Designs Chase format so far, Brandon Bowie's been the king of it so far, Zach. Pressure is on for some of the drivers as we go through the summer months to have a shot to battle for the championship, especially by the time we start the chase.
Yeah, 100% JP. I think the biggest thing is looking at that cut line. Mark Sanchez putting a little bit of a gap, a little bit of buffer over that 30 of William Owens. Johnny Shade on the outside. Greg Carr trying to get in. And Nigel Christensen rounding out the top 20 in points right now. I think the biggest thing is there's a lot of different tracks, a lot of different styles you're going to see here coming up in the next following weeks. So I think the biggest thing is can you put some momentum going into July?
Absolutely, and mind you, it's been interesting how the seeding's kind of gone. Mind you, too, it's been interesting how these drivers now sorted themselves for the past couple weeks. This was essentially sorted out with Pocono. Brandon Bowie, as expected, to be the #1 seed here. Plenty of drivers going to have to keep an eye on if they have a shot at part of these 32 competitors that are part of the seeding. We'll keep an eye on that throughout part of the evening. But Sonoma Raceway is a challenging one, as we touched upon. About 3.2 kilometers, just under 2 miles on the distance when it comes to the NASCAR version of Sonoma Raceway. Funnily enough, used to actually be called Golden State International Raceway 1 before Sonoma and Cup racing action became a focal point here at this track. But when it comes to today, Zach, you got the opportunity to get things wound up for the race car and work together for tonight. Let's break things down. You win on track.
Thanks, JP. Luckily, MRL let me get on track before today's race, so let's break it down. Going into turn 1 and 2, it's going to be that uphill left-hander. You're going to get it down all the way from 4th to 2nd gear into the right-hander that goes up over a blind corner, the first of 2. As you work your way down into turn 3, it's going to be a 3rd gear down to 2nd gear. You're going to want to stick the corner in there on the left, and then hanging out to the right a little bit, up over a blind corner. Try to get up to 3rd gear, and then heavy into the first braking zone we'll see. That's 4A down to 2nd gear. You're going to go a little bit wide, cut over one more time in front of the Toyota banner, and then back down to 1st gear into another hard braking zone. A little slower of a road course than we're used to seeing, maybe compared to a Watkins Glen. As you work your way through the S's, though, you're going to work your way all the way up to 3rd gear. It's going to be off the throttle here. You're going to work your car to the left, then work your car back over to the right. Coming up over the hill, it's throttle down, get the loud pedal going. You're going to go all the way up to 4th gear as you work your way through 9 and 10. Hold it out here in 4th gear to the left once again, and then hard down into the final turn 11, the hairpin to the right. And there it is, 4th to 1st gear. You're going to get all the way down on that curbing, get close to that wall as possible, and then you're back on the loud pedal once the tires really grip up there into the final turn there at turn 12 through the restart zone, and that is a lap here at Sonoma. An interesting course to say the least, but it's going to be very fun for these drivers as they try to keep it on track and battle for positions.
Going to add some intensity here tonight in turn for how much elevation we'll see. But the pole award, once again in the series, is brought to you by Victory Designs. And it should be no surprise, but Alex Murray's on the pole. He's looking to do well today. Ended up missing racing at San Diego last week. Brandon Bowie next to him. Alex Coffey and Nico Garcia will start in row number 2 tonight. Row 3, that's where you'll find Matt Cox. Kyle Holden, he ended up pulling off the victory last week. He's in 6th. Brandon Fetterplay starts in 7th tonight. Alongside him is an air style driver on the road course, Barry Sanders. Timothy Harper and Sean Rogers, your top 10, Zach.
Yeah, just missing out on the top 10 is Paul Gallimore. On the outside of him is Ryan Catalano in P12. In 13th, the 84 machine now of Chris Cornett. He was the 83. And Jim Treat in the 42 car, another number change there for the Zero X Sim Racing Group. Blaine Wilson in 15th. On the outside of him is Chris Davis in the GMD Red Bull inspired car in 16th. In 17th, Jose Medina. And on the outside of him is Kenny Reel in that 99. In 19th, Caden Norfray. And rounding out your top 20, Blake Hallshield.
21st going the way tonight of Chris Vincent. Greg Carr will be down to 22nd among some of the drivers who didn't take time tonight. Zach Case did accidentally join the server, by the way, Zach. You were supposed to start 23rd, but you're obviously here. That being said, Hunter Carmichael was supposed to be next. He missed the session. Nick King, Johnny Shade, Mark Sanchez, Nigel Christensen, Matt Metler are the other names. In all seriousness, though, Adam, this track, going to see for the track temperatures actually somewhat lower for California, around 97 Fahrenheit. It's still going to be pretty difficult, though, for the tire management.
Oh, it is, and obviously the tire management is going to be something that everyone's going to have to keep an eye on. This first stage being 20 laps, stage 2, 25 laps, and that final stage, 34 laps. All these drivers are going to have to manage the tires throughout these stages, make sure that they can get to the end of them and pick up some very crucial points. And of course, that final stage, 34 laps, that's a long time in the race car, especially if you're trying to go long on these tires. And of course, going out wide into the sand pits, it can also create a little bit more tire wear. So got to keep an eye on that tonight, and we'll see what happens here at Sonoma.
So here's how things are going to be laid out as well for a radio-style conversation in play-by-play. Setting up on the front straightaway before rumbling up the hillside through turn 1, up towards the heartbreaking turn 2. Then by 3 and 3A, you have to click left, right to roll your way up the hillside. Zach will then be set up for turn 4A, all the way to 7A, 8, and 8A. That will swoop into 9. That's essentially up the S's before you reach Adam. We'll set up at 9, 10, 11, and 12. Your Van Louis stickers onboard cameras, you see everyone's geared up and warming up those tires to make sure they don't go for a slide today. That's going to be important, especially as well with how the horsepower package is going to potentially go here today. Now, that in mind, one more quick note. Our pit reporter, Cody Vance, has been hard at work meeting with all the teams and drivers. Cody, what have you been told coming into tonight?
Nothing. This track has felt very slick. I've spoken to the 51, and I just asked him, what does he need to do in order to not have a mistake that happened over at Coronado? And he said, just let the little things take place and just keep it on the track. And just one thing to note is the horsepower package. I asked him how the car felt, and he compared it to how a Porsche Cup car might feel, just with a little less downforce, obviously, but moving forward. Back to you, Justin.
Some interesting notes, absolutely. Thank you very much. As the pace car is about to drop off, we're happy to have you with us for an exciting one here today. The first to Engage Motorsports 250. All to start things off for the quest for the Icon Apparel In-Season Challenge. Field in the hands for the Van Lilly sticker start zone of Alex Murray. Green flag is out. We're underway from Sonoma. Quick jump, equalized up at the start and finish line. They rumble their way up the hillside, up to turn 1. Murray gets clear by the braking zone at 2. Coffey to the outside for second. Stays the door of the 51. Now gets alongside the tires to the rear side. Still side by side for second as Coffey marches his way up the hillside. Can he make the pass to the high side? Still not done. Bowie inside with the charge.
What a battle for P2 right off the bat there from the 54, putting the pressure on that aero machine of Brandon Bowie. He's going to look forward, but here comes the lean there, the fake out from the 54 machine. No bite though from the 51 as he throttles his way through 7A. Now through the S's for the first time here at Sonoma. Alex Murray leading the way. It's Bowie, Coffey, Garcia, and Holden rounding out the top 5 as they make their way down to Adam.
Now they're going into turn number 9. This is the fastest part of the racetrack here. Everybody single file, very calm, cool, and collected as they make their way through 10, headed down towards turn 11. Murray still out in front with a decent gap behind him, but Bowie, he is just taking his time here. He's under threat from Coffey as they head towards the start-finish line here at Sonoma.
First lap being controlled by the 22, fresh off a busy weekend over at Newcastle Motorsports Park karting-wise. Murray's been trying to help out his team with Prodigy Motorsports in real life. Now, looking to put the speed on the track. Garcia, top 4 to start, works his way swiftly. Coming up to turn 3. So far, so solid for Garcia, who took some heavy hits in San Diego. He's keeping it smooth to begin this.
Well, the battle of the lead is heating up. Brandon Bowie is all over the back bumper. He's within maybe a car length. Give it 2 car lengths there, heading into the braking zone of 7A. He'll get a little deeper than Alex Murray as they work their way through that right-hander. It's back on the loud pedal once again as we go through the S's on lap 2. Bowie looking for an opportunity. He's going to elect to stay in line here between Alex Murray and Alex Coffey. It's a Coffey and Alex sandwich as they work their way back through 9.
Headed back down towards turn 11. Heavy braking zone here. An opportunity possibly for Bowie as he heads into turn 11. He's not going to be close enough this time. And Murray holding on strong as they go through what is sort of a hairpin corner back towards the start-finish line here on lap number 2.
So far, so good. First car, second train. Barry Sanders leads it. Timothy Harper in it, as well as Sean Rogers. They all march their way past the big inflatable Toyota logos. They all stand up and keep everyone on their toes. Meanwhile, the elevation rolls its way up the hillside. Sanders working its way up the tall hill through 3 and 3A. Needs to close up more than a second to get up to Federer Place and go.
Continue the work one more time through these corners. There's that braking zone in 4A as the boss man works his way back onto the short straightaway. Battle for the lead though. Brandon Bowie riding along behind Alex Murray again. We'll see if the gap gets a little closer here in lap 3 as they work their way right. They're going to head back left as they work their way downhill into the glass section of the track.
Murray having to do everything he can to try and hold on to the race lead here in stage number 1, but Bowie doing everything he can to put the pressure on. But keep an eye out on Alex Coffey as he has now approached this battle for the race lead. But here comes Bowie down the inside of Murray, and we have a new race leader here on lap number 3.
Brandon Bowie, your points leader, now up to the point. They also have Alex Coffey in the conversation. All of them work their way up the tall hills. If you follow on with socials, you can tell that is at least several stories tall when you go up. Alex Coffey, new purple lap time with a purple car of Bowie. Blocks left, blocks right. Up through 3A's. Shower line for Murray. Slides and nearly loses it in front of Coffey.
He's going to take advantage there. An easy entrance into P2 for the Alex Coffey machine. But look at the gap now. Brandon Bowie has opened up almost a second gap on Alex Coffey with that mistake from Murray. He'll make his way to the right, make his way to the left once again. As you see the P5 battle starting to heat up too. Matt Cox, Holden, Federer Place all within striking distance there as they work their way through the S's one more time. Matt Cox leading the way there as Holden continues to follow in line.
Holden right now trying to get to the back bumper of Cox in the 00 through turn number 10, headed towards turn 11. Again, a great opportunity to make a move, but he is just too far back. And Federer Place, he is just watching a great show in front of him, hoping one of these guys makes a mistake.
Exactly here and right now, while he's 6 seconds back, and the leader is doing a solid job keeping up with his battle pack. They all rumble away past the start and finish line. Up the hillside, Timothy Harper in the pack with the 88 of Sanders, still taking pokes. Shower line up through 2. Still also trying to block off Rogers. The Beast Mode Performance Machine in his mirror continues to try and find a way to chip away. Up the hill they go, single file much of the way.
Yeah, doing a great job inside the top 10 right now. Sean Rogers right back behind Timothy Harper. You're riding along with that 23 machine. Here's Rogers though. Look at him up on the wheel. Just gonna make that right-hander in, go all the way to second, but he's gonna get all the way up to third here, most likely going through the S's. Look at that sweatband too. He's ready for a hot evening in the sim. We'll see how he does the rest of the race here as they work their way back into turn 9.
Well, everybody still single filed out here as we're approaching through turn number 10. That's the 54 on your screen right now of Alex Coffey, as he has lost a little bit of time to the race leader headed to the start-finish line. Now looking at Nigel Christensen here, going through turn number 9 and into turn 10, the 20 car. Feeling the pressure a little bit here, but trying to catch up. Even closer here, sitting in further back in the pack here.
Yeah, one of the drivers that's trying to work their way up through the hillside, Nigel Christensen, a 21st seed, actually does have the advantage over Vincent, who started from pit road. Ryan Catalano, one of the onboards, found by Van Louis Stickers, put up a sweat in 11th, has built up a distance.
Catalano had to take off the sleeves there to get in this sim rig tonight. He works his way down into 7A. Currently in third gear, he'll drop it down to second. There's a lot of these drivers staying in second gear around that right-hander. They're going to get back to first. He actually dropped it down to first. Now he's back to second, up to third. And he'll make his way through fourth gear through the S's as Catalano continues to work just outside the top 10, currently in 11th.
Catalano. Last lap time showing right now on our beautiful live timing graphic here as we're approaching turn 11 here with Ryan Catalano sitting 11th, being a little bit of pressure here from Gallimore right now, but just too far back. It's going to take a little bit of time for Gallimore to catch back up here as we are now going to start lap number 8.
Still working our way to that mark next time by the stripe. Coffey continuing to provide pressure for the race lead though. Toe-to-toe up towards the middle sector.
They tiptoe their way through 4A. It's only a 4/10 gap back to Coffey now. It was 7/10, maybe 2-3 laps ago. Look at the gap now as they work their way through the braking zone. Back on the loud pedal once again. We'll see if Brandon Bowie can work his way away from Alex Coffey as they make their way through the S's, back down to third gear off the back end of that 51 machine from Arrow. Coffey trying to get a little closer to that race leader.
Coffey right now just hasn't found that pace that he needs right now to get up to Bowie. You look at the lap times here, Bowie has dropped off the pace just a little bit, just under 0.2 of a second here as we ride on board here with Blaine Wilson headed through turn number 10. Wilson right now sitting 14th, trying to chase down Cornette as they go down into turn 11. Not enough time to make the move. Good block there by the 84, holding on to that inside line back to the start-finish line.
Cornette is not Walmart tonight. He changed up the paint scheme and the looks for this one as his white and red machine works its way up the hillside. The Wire Tech electric machine looks to try and put on an electrifying performance in front of Wilson. Still trying to find a way to chip away and find a way to gain up some spots in what has been a roller coaster of a season for the 24th seed in the in-season challenge.
I think one thing to note there with that 0X Sim Racing group, a little bit of a rebrand there. Jim Treat moving over to the 42 car. You have the 84 machine now, also with Cornette. Here's riding along with the 87 though of Chris Davis, riding in 15, just looking ahead to Wilson and Cornette. Not bad so far for Chris Davis, who had a really good past couple of weeks, in my opinion, as he worked his way through the S's once again. Look at him up on the wheel. He makes his way to the right. He'll set up his entrance for 9 into the high-speed turn 10.
Well, looking at Wilson right now, looking at his point of view, he is getting closer here to Cornette as they go down into turn 11. Cornette thought about the move, but gets out of it. And just in time, and Cornette holding on to the spot there in 13th. Now looking at the number 87, Chris Davis from the outside, but back to this battle here for 12th.
Still working the ways up the hillside again, up through 2. Wilson keeping his distance. been able to chip it away. Harper of note just fell back into the clutches of them also up the road. He's in 10th spot. Now leading this pack. Catalano also chipping away. A few of these drivers seeing some massive fall-offs out.
I think we talk about tire wear almost every week here in MRL, but I think the biggest thing here tonight is going to wear a little bit differently, obviously, with a road course. I think that's obviously something to note. I know the track temps are a little lower. Here's Jose Medina in that 26 car, the sponsor of tonight's race with the first to Engage Motorsports group, so we'll see how that team fares going into the rest of the evening, but he's going to work his way right now through the S's. Makes that left-hander onto the right-hander right behind Kenny Reel, it looks like in front of him. And the battle for 16th may be heating up as they try to get ever so closely to the top 15.
Like Hodshield right now, it's Caden Norfray trying to hold on to that 16th spot here. And pushing forward through turn 11, the 99 holding on strong through the inside of turn 11, headed back to the start-finish line. Jose Medina trying to do everything he can to get by as they head across the line to start another lap.
All of them still going to be interesting to watch your leaders still keeping close in your section, Adam.
Yes, the leaders, they're approaching lap traffic, so in the next few laps, I would say we're going to see some guys needing to get out of the way as the race leader of Alex Coffey right now doing everything he can to stay out in front here. The 54 machine absolutely dominating right now, has a pretty decent sized gap in front of behind him, and he is very calm. Excuse me, it's not Coffey. My lifetime, he keeps going all over the place, but on the screen here, Bowie, the 51 car, very calm, cool, and collected drive right now in this first stage as we start lap number 11.
It's been dominant so far for the 51 after making the pass early on, but it's been the toughest season we've seen from him. 9 top 5s, 11 top 10s, along those 5 victories. He's been tough to beat at just about every type of racetrack here, Zach, and Bowie seems to put the prep in.
I think one thing we talked about a couple laps ago, Coffey was all over the back bumper of Bowie. Now he's opened up that gap to over a second as they work their way into 7A. So I think the biggest thing was maybe Bowie was keeping his tires under him a little bit there for the last couple laps. Now he's going to open them back up and try to move his way and open up that gap that we're seeing now on screen as they work their way through the S's one more time. And we talk about lap traffic. Adam just mentioned it. They're working right now in front of him.
Lap traffic is going to be a massive factor here, especially in stage number 1. And you can see Alex Murray sitting third right now, just under a second away from P2, with Coffey holding strong there, but Coffey making up a little bit of extra time into turn 11. But it's that exit of turn 11 that can really hurt, and that's where Bowie is opening up the time here as we start lap 12.
Exactly here, they're running 1:14 flaps just about up the front of the field. Murray just about now falling off 4/10 though. Compare that to, say, a better place. They're running as fast as the 1:15s back around 6th to 7th position. Better place makes his way up through 2 this time. Right side's a bit on the curve, avoids the left side the curves this time as they make their way up the hillside.
I think the biggest thing right now, obviously, for the guys running in the top 10, we always talk about stage points being very important. I think that's the most important thing, is continuing to have stage points as they work their way once again down into Adam's section on track.
And now that lap traffic is going to be a factor here for our leaders. 1, 2, and 3 have separated themselves, so they're going to make quick work here of our 27th and 26th place runners. And here they go into turn number 11. You can just tell they're all starting to get a little bit tight-knit and trying to get everything going here and get through this lap traffic as quickly as they can.
Probably the way past the start and finish line. Bowie still holds on in front, all right, past halfway in this stage as the 51 makes its way through. As they all go through and climb up the hill, drivers like Better Place still keeping themselves sweaty. We apologize for a technical difficulty for the visuals here. Apparently a cat just attacked our producer. Now, as things settle down, the Raiders making their way back up to the middle sector, still close.
We'll see how Fetter Place and Coffey do, but Coffey now working his way once again. The gap now open up to it looks like, heading in through 7A. Bowie keeping that gap over a second right now over Coffee. Let's go through the top 5 real quick. It's Bowie, Coffee, then Alex Murray making his return after missing last week. Garcia, who crashed out last week after Coronado, and Matt Cox running in P5. They're doing a great job right now trying to get some stage points.
Bowie has now opened up a huge advantage here, almost over a second as they're coming into turn 11. Coffee has lost a little bit of ground. Same with Murray. Murray was approaching this battle for the race lead and is now 1.5 seconds back off the leaders.
It is not looking great for the 22 all of a sudden. He's just struggling with the consistency marks. 10th off last time behind the pace, but the consistency seen a steady decline for one of the drivers that was talking with him over the course of the race. See not too many positions change. Murray, one of the few that's lost spots.
Another guy that's lost spots, Jim Treat in that 42 car, down to 19th now after losing 5 spots. Good report there from Cody down on pit road as you watch him work his way into turn 11 and 12. So the big thing for Jim Treat, trying to get more consistency factor. Mark Sanchez also in P21. He is the biggest mover right now.
Mark Sanchez up 4 spots already, but the biggest loser right now is Caden Norfrey, down 6 spots since the start of this one, all the way down to 25th, as he has just been struggling here in the opening parts of this race as we're approaching the final few laps here of stage number 1. Paul Gallimore right now. Paul Gallimore doing a great job here tonight, down a spot, but still in touching distance of Ryan Catalano as they're coming down into turn number 11. Gallimore would love to get a chance to set up a move as we get this unique angle of what he's going through right now. A big lockup though by Catalano, and he is going to have to figure out a way to get that time back as lap traffic a factor for these drivers right now.
Of note, Harper just about got turned around by lap traffic. Chris Vinson, that's why he's fallen in the clutches of a couple of these drivers. Catalano providing pressure on the bumper. Now Harper trying to keep the car steady, overworking the tires from the slide. Now tries to work his way through 3 and 3A, while Catalano looks for another charge up to get to the rear bumper.
Guess what Catalano's fighting for? Stage points, right? Harper inside the top 10. He will get a point right now if we finish the stage currently on this lap 15. Catalano saying, no, I want that stage point, right? So he's going to try to battle in that 92 machine, but look who's all over the back bumper. It's the 11 of Paul Gallimore, making his way through the S's, working his way back behind the 92. Look at the bumper shot. Works his way over the curbing on the right, hangs it out to the left, and it's down the loud pedal into turn 9, back to Adam.
Gallimore was putting on the pressure there, but has lost a bit of time here to Catalano. Catalano doing everything he can to get right back up to Harper. But last time at turn 11, Catalano locked up the brakes, so his tires are going to be screaming for help through turn 11 right now. And now Catalano has lost a lot of ground here to Harper, and that's going to allow Gallimore to get even closer in the final few laps here of stage 1.
Gallimore, one of the drivers that we'll keep an eye on throughout the evening here too, with his seating over Matthews here in this one. Matthews, one of the drivers, leave not amongst those here, so we'll get a chance to advance. Others like Chris Davis though, we know he's got road course speed, has to put up work to keep up with Cornette just up the road for the seating in the in-season challenge.
Yeah, you talk about the battles on track, obviously for position, but also the battles in the in-season challenge from the Icon Apparel Company sponsored challenge. Now back up to the lead though, it's Coffee battling with Bowie.
Bowie starting to get close, lose a little bit of ground to Coffee here as we go up the hill.
And all of them rumbling the way through still to sort out where this is going to play out between them. It's been an interesting day from start to finish already. But still, the huge thing for a lot of these competitors is keeping the tires cool. Remember, coming up to the final few laps of the stage, got to keep the incident points low too, Zach.
You always have to talk about incident points when we come to a road course, especially with this series, right? That 17X mark. You don't want to have to do a drive-through just because you maybe got off track, maybe made some contacts, a 4X here, a 4X there. Now you're down pit road for a drive-through. So as we work our way through the S's another time here, we're coming to the end almost of stage 1. We'll see what the battle looks like between Bowie, Coffee, and Murray.
Coffee was looking very, very good there through this lap. He's starting to get a little bit closer here. He's almost down to a half a second away from Bowie, but just loses a bit of time out of turn number 10 into turn 11. Again, got to get that car way slowed down. Almost goes out a little bit too wide there for Coffee, but Coffee back on the loud pedal as we head back towards the start-finish line and back up the hill here at Sonoma.
Still, though, it's going to be an interesting strategy game amongst these two later on. They're closing up the Nick King, though. Warrior Racing Machine, about 10 car lengths up the road. So far, traffic hasn't played too much of a factor for our competitors. Will that continue to be the case in a moment? We'll find out. Coming up to 2 to go, Kane instead goes through the grass.
Yeah, trouble there for the free agent entry of Nick King. He's going to elect to keep it out of the way there of Alex Murray. Murray works his way by the lap car of King. Now back up to the race lead. Bowie in front of Alex Coffey. The gap now through 7 and into the S's. Only 0.6 of a second. So we'll see if Bowie slows up just a touch. We'll see if Coffey gets a little bit faster. They're going to work their way back down to the fast, high-speed section of the last portion of the track.
Coffee lost a bit of time through the S's and now has to gain it back, and the best place to do that is up here towards turn 11, and Coffee gets a little bit of ground made up, but question is, can he find the exit speed that time? A lot better corner through turn 11 as we head back towards the start-finish line to start lap number 19.
Coffee still marches his way through. 2 to go. Again, 2 laps to go in the stage. 54, still no close-up. Bowie a little bit more awkward of a line, though, as they work through. Kyle Holden took the win last week with a wild bit of shenanigans last time out. Nearly to the bumper of Cox. Slides up, has to check up to avoid going to the grass. Near disaster for the 97, but he keeps it swift. Up the hill again he goes.
Yeah, the good thing for the 97 is he has a big gap right now back to 7th place. Brandon Feather place. I think the biggest thing for the 97, a little wiggle there coming out of 4A. Just keep the car under you. You'll only have to go a few more laps. Update from pit road. Catalano makes his way into the top 10. You see back to P14 though. It's Chris Davis working his way now ever so closely to Cornette. Wilson got around him already, and now the 87 gets ever so closely. Oh, a trouble. It looks like Chris Davis slides the tires a little bit. He'll recover and save it and keep it off the wall, but time lost there for the 87 machine as he gets back going once again, and back to the race lead. Final lap here for stage 1.
Final time around for the first stage of this one. Coffee trying to push the tempo. Can he find his way to get around the 51? Gets loose through throttle 1 or 2. Back up through 3. Now they work their way, climbing up the elevation. Bowie holding firm in front.
As you see the lap traffic in front of those 2 race leaders right now, we'll see if that plays a factor as they work their way down into the 7A braking zone. Coffee getting a little closer now. The gap only 0.6 once again. Back up to Brandon Bowie though. He's back on the throttle. He's going to work his way through the S's, get up over that curbing, make his way to the left, now to the right. Back over to the left side of the racetrack, back on the gas as they make their way one more time down to Adam.
Brandon Bowie has been super dominant here in stage number 1, and he is looking to claim the stage 1 win. Down to turn 11 is going to hold off Alex Coffey as they head through turn 11. Took a little bit of a wider entry through turn 11, but he's going to get it done here in stage number 1.
Yes, indeed he will. Won't reach the traffic, but it is Bowie that streaks to the green-white checkered flag over Coffey. Murray gets a top 3. Then it's another 7 seconds where you'll find Nico Garcia at a quiet stage number 1. Matt Cox holds off Kyle Holden. Brendan Fetter plays, able to hold on to 7th. Sean Rogers in the 8th position. 9th, going the way of Barry Sanders. And Ryan Catalano through a puff of smoke with traffic of Johnny Shade coming away MP number 10. Good start. Sees the caution flag wave. Our first stage is complete. More coverage coming up. You're watching tonight's action on Precision Entertainment from Sonoma Raceway. We'll see you in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage from Sonoma Raceway. More coverage of the Moonshiners Racing League. Stage 1 was brought to you by Collegiate Football Simulation League, the top collegiate simulation league. Create your legacy by visiting collegesimleague.com today. Brandon Bowie controlling things so far, Adam. But you have to remember, if you want some hot sauce, the 92 is a good place to find it after all. Top It Off Hot Sauce Company. You can receive a 15% discount using the code MRL15. Let's get MRL15 for 15% off your entire order for revved up flavor and heat. I was going to say, Adam, though, pit stops are going to be interesting as Bowie's led most of the way.
Bowie's going to have to think about everything in this pit stop. He does not want to lose the race lead and lose a couple of spots here, as he has just been ultra dominant in that first stage. And the 54 of Alex Coffey, he's been right there, just needs to find a way to get a little more pace out of that race car.
Yes, indeed. And as Cody continues to work on the tire wear stints, we'll speak with him in a moment. These drivers will get themselves on the jacks. Timothy Harper is the only driver who attempted to flip the stage, so he'll be a race leader. Bowie will restart second, followed by Coffey, Marie Garcia, Cox, Holden, Fetter Place, Rogers. Surprisingly, Adam, no one really changed a spot in that entire grouping outside of course, Harper staying out. And we might have had a couple speedings.
Oh, that is not good. You do not want to speed on this pit road, especially under caution. But one of the big surprises there was Harper staying out here on old tires. So that is going to give him a massive disadvantage at the start of this one. Not sure what kind of a pit strategy he's going for, but Bowie and Coffey executing perfect pit stops, getting fresh new tires on those race cars, and we are about to see what is going to happen when you get brand new tires versus old worn out tires here at Sonoma.
Indeed, it's going to get interesting here for one Timothy Harper, who stayed out on the racetrack. Let's see. Get him on the horn. Zach is with him.
Hey, Timothy Harper, it's Zach Case up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up?
Hey, brother. Interesting pit strategy, interesting pit call. You're the race leader. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. Just wish it was lap 79. But yeah, I mean, I think we have a top 5 car, but just it's hard to pass, and I don't want to wreck anybody trying to get around them. So we'll see what we can do with the track position.
I mean, now that you're out here in front with the track position, without giving away too much of your strategy, what is that call? When are you going to pit? Well, obviously you did make the pit already, so what's the game plan now going into stage 2?
Just keep it on the track and try to stay up front, and haven't yet decided on what we're doing for stage 2, so I have no idea. We'll just go as to see what folds here.
Well, we'll figure out where you end up, but good luck, brother, and hopefully you can hold off the hard-charging top 3 right now.
Appreciate it.
That was Timothy Harper, now currently leading as we work our way one more time. Pace car going to turn its lights off, and we'll see what Harper and the rest of the crew can do here. And JP, I think the most interesting thing is, how do you really attack this racetrack if you're Brandon Bowie, knowing you have a guy like Timothy Harper in front of you that you haven't battled all evening long?
Absolutely, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. This time through, you see your Van Leeuwenhoek's cameras, everybody keeping relatively steady for the pace laps. A couple of them with full smiles here. But we mentioned Cody Banta was getting to work and getting the information from pit road and trying to get the data on some of these drivers and feeling what they will be feeling here today as we finish up here with the Van Leeuwenhoek's cameras. Cody, what did you hear from pit road?
Just a lot of tire conservation. Through that short run, it seemed like that these cars are down to 80s on the lefts and 70s on the rights. So it's just about maintaining a pace. We haven't seen the lap fall off, but I would expect it to be a little bit more conservative here, considering that there's 25 laps in the second stage. Back to you, Justin.
And Adam, obviously, it's going to be technically one more lap of green flag racing here. Does that really change the dynamic? Or more importantly, how do you play this dynamic of you now have someone older, a little bit older tires going to be up front? This could get pretty wild for this race lead that Zach alluded to.
Well, for Timothy Harper, it's going to mean a big difference here. 5 laps on a set of tires versus fresh, brand new tires on a circuit like this. It's going to mean a whole lot, and those tires are going to fade away so quickly. For Timothy Harper, he's going to have to get out in front quickly here and be able to defend in the closing laps of stage number 2. Not only that, it's 5 laps longer, so his tires are going to be screaming for help come lap number 15.
Strong opportunity for some of these drivers to see just what they can do with the field going to be shaken up for this restart, the Van Leeuwenhoek's restart zone here. Again, just about ready to get back to racing here from Sonoma Raceway in what has so far been a race dominated by Brandon Bowie. Restart zone box going to be in the hands of Harper. Green, green, green. We're underway. Harper works his way through one spin of the tires for Bowie through the gears. He's alongside Coffey for second. Murray rides to the bumper of Bowie. Still side by side for second as Coffey tries to get the rotation. Bit of contact once, twice, squeeze him off into 3. Harper marches way up, and Bowie gets turned by Murray. Into the barrier goes the 51. Your points leaders in the wall.
This really changes everything. A lot of point implications here right now as the rest of the field works their way by Bowie, who sits off in the grass. Look at your race lead. Here's the Top It Off Hot Sauce Company replay, though, as they work their way through turn 1. All over the back bumper once again is Alex Murray. As we go into 2 and 3A here, we'll see how close the 22 gets. Gets to the inside of Bowie and gets right onto that quarter panel. The 22 sends the 51 up. Probably didn't expect the slide there, but obviously I think the biggest thing is Bowie now has to make the charge back up through the field. We'll see what the 51 machine elects to do.
Timothy Harper now off of turn 11, gonna lead here on lap number 25. as they cross the start finish line, and Alex Coffey hot on his heels a little bit here, but Timothy Harper will be very happy that Brandon Bowie had that little bit of a spin coming down here up the hill.
Now it's two teammates bound over the race lead. Still Coffey trying to cross him up. Can't get the run yet as they come into 3A.
Just remember, it's 3 dig machines now up in your top 3. Back behind them is Garcia and Kyle Holding. Another aero machine, that 97, rounding out your top 5 as you look at the field, make their way through 7A, back onto the pedal on the right side of the cockpit. Once again, riding alongside of Nico Garcia. It's your boy here, number 8, working his way through the S's. He's going to try to get up to the 3-car tandem from Engage Motorsports.
Nico Garcia has not gained or lost a spot, qualified 4th, has stayed in 4th so far through stage 1 and here at the start of stage 2, and is getting a nice view of this battle in front as now Coffey has taken the race lead and Murray also takes 2nd place away. Harper loses 2 spots in 1 corner.
So just like that, it continues to be a team 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at the top of the Honso's coming to replay. And again, it's quite simple. If you're Alex Coffey, try and get the run, build up momentum, take advantage, especially when drivers like Harper make mistakes like he did. It opened the door. Now, it's Coffey that controls your race lead. And what has been a whirlwind of a start to this race, to say the very least, as they work their way through your corners out.
I think the biggest thing here too is think about the tire difference with Harper and Coffey and Murray. I think you got to remember here, he can now play a little bit of defense for those top 2 overall.
Send it down to Cody.
Yeah, just a quick update on the 51. After that contact with Murray, his radio chatter was reporting no signs of actual visible damage, so the car is back on the track as you see him over at P18 here, battling it out with the rest of the guys. Back to you.
Bowie is going to have to do everything he can. He's splicing through the field, has already gone up to 17th here after falling to the back of the pack after an earlier spin here in stage number 2.
Gonna have to try and fight back as much as he can at least. Caution will help him. New purple, Alex Murray sets the fast lap. He is now trying to push hard. Sees an opportunity with a teammate in front to do something a little bit differently.
Yeah, well, the gap between 2nd and 3rd is definitely opening up. You see the difference there working through 4A, but Murray trying to go to the back bumper here of Alex Coffey, his teammate, stablemate as well between the 2 of them here at Dig. See the 54 open up the gap a little bit now as they work through their S's. The biggest thing between these 2 is just remembering there's plenty of time left in this race. Don't overuse each other and take care of each other too, working their way through turn 9 as teammates.
Coffey holding on strong here, but Murray getting to the back of the 54 here, smelling the exhaust fumes coming off of that 54 Toyota as they go through turn 11. Just getting so close. Just needs a better exit off of turn 11 to try and make it through, but that was a very good exit off of turn 11.
And so far, so good when it comes to the work put in. Obviously, the 22 wanting to try and avoid one thing, was talking with him a little bit at Newcastle Motorsports Park over the weekend. Kind of joked about the race because he said, I think half jokingly, about being able to lead. Hey, I know I have speed. I just have to make sure I don't wreck myself from the point. That's going to be one of the more important things we'll see for the leader. We'll follow on with Mr. Sweatman.
Was right along with Sean Rogers in P6. One thing to note, just outside of the top 10, Chris Cornett with some problems. Look at the damage on the 84 machine on that right front, coming off of turn 10 just a lap ago. Got a little bit of contact with that inside barrier. You see Greg Carr in front of him, locks it up. We'll see what the 84 does. We'll see if he has also suspension damage, so maybe Cody can make his way down pit road to find that 84 crew chief. But the 84 making some moves once again. Matt Cox right on the tail. Look who was behind him. Brandon Bowie as well as battle for the race lead in turn 11.
You can see the 22 trying to do everything they can to get around this 54 machine, but it's not enough through turn 11 as they head back towards the start-finish line.
Still nothing doing from Murray. as the flurry of Chevys in the middle of the top 10, not able to get up to these two Toyotas yet. Look at the miles per hour, just how much speed they're able to carry through the corners, somewhere upwards of near 120 plus miles an hour. They have to go right back below 70 for the car to stick by the time they get to the middle sector short shoot.
Some would say it's like traffic on the 95 in North Carolina. Instead, we're out in Cali as right now the guys work into the braking zone, hard onto the brakes once again in 7A. Look how close Murray is. Coffee, though, able to get away from him just a little bit, going through the S's. The 54 makes his way back again, left, right, into the left once again. Here's an update on Brandon Bowie, though, riding along with him. Right behind the 84 machine in 13th. He'll make a dive this time, put to the inside the 51. The 84 is going to let him go. 51 moves up once again, put him P12 on the recovery drive. Back up towards the front, though, it's Nico Garcia.
Nico Garcia going to battle now with Timothy Harper. Remember, Timothy Harper is on older tires right now. Those tires are 12 laps old, so he's going to be struggling here. And we're not even halfway done with this second stage. Now Chris Davis on our screen. Now P14 getting a good view of what Buey is doing up in P11, but he's also watching this battle in front of him with Cox and Cornette. Cornette having to defend the inside line against Cox as they head back to the start-finish line.
So we get a little bit physical, if you will, in some of these spots. Leaders still bumper to bumper.
Yeah, talking about physicality here at Sonoma. Here comes the battle for the race lead. Murray up the inside of Coffee. We'll see if it gets close. Coffee going to give him plenty of room. Side by side, door to door as they work through the S's. Murray going to get back along the back bumper there of Alex Murray. You see the rest of the field in the top 5 working their way behind, but it's Alex Coffey defending well through the second section of the track.
Now you can see the race leader right now is holding on strong, but Coffey is doing everything he can to smell the exhaust pipe of the 54 machine, and he just cannot make the move into turn 11, which is the ideal place to make a move here at Sonoma. And right now, Alex Coffey doing everything he can. Back out to Chris Davis, who's getting a little bit closer now to Cornette, but just not close enough just yet here as we are on lap number 32 of the 79 scheduled here at Sonoma, heading down into turn 11. Davis gets this a little bit closer. He loves seeing this battle lock up here from Cox, as Cox trying to just move to the outside line a little bit. And we have a spin. That is the 84 of Cornette coming through the start-finish line off in turn 11. And he is going to lose a bunch of spots here, Justin.
More trouble popping up, but let's take a look at the top of Alfonso's company replay. Cornette just trying to fight aggressively here to hold off the 00, who had the pace from the speeding penalty, and takes the shallow to the inside. A little bit too shallow. Sets him up for the opportunity to the bumper, and nearly gets him turned around. It does. Able to get himself back going with a couple seconds lost as a result of the contact.
I think the biggest thing there, obviously, is you look at Matt Cox. He's going to dive it into turn 11 on the replay, elect to go to the left side, but it's the contact right here when the tires grip up that sends the 84 front end first into that outside wall. We'll see how much the damage the 84 has, but it could be a little frustration leading over from the 00.
Possibly, you could say. Moved under braking here in turn number 4. Might have been part of the cause too. But still, the race leaders still near bumper to bumper, still nothing doing in terms of a change up at the very point. They work their way back to the middle sector.
Yeah, some other things, some other contact on track a couple laps ago. Blaine Wilson getting into it with the 34, Brandon Fetterplace. Some contact there from the 18 with front end damage. Nico Garcia dropping a couple spots. He's down in P6 as he works his way behind Kyle Holden and Sean Rogers, who move their way up the lineup. How about Timothy Harper, though? Still holding on to P3, the 23 car, doing a great job on that alternate strategy as he works his way back to Adam.
Timothy Harper again putting 15 lap old tires here while everybody else has only done 10 laps here. And you can see the significant pace that he has against the race leaders right now. Currently just running a 1:14.6 while the race leaders are running a 1:14.0. So now out to Nigel Christensen as we keep an eye on him as he is now approaching the battle here with Carr as we head down through turn 10 and into 11. Biggest gainer right now is Nigel Christensen, up 11 spots.
Munster still trying to ride the bumper of the 25 in front. Mind you, Nigel Christensen, seeding-wise, coming into this tourney. Put a little bit of work, let's put it that way. 21st compared to Wilson. He is right now still not there for that opportunity to jump ahead of him in terms of the in-season challenge. Biggest spots lost, Brandon Fetterplace needing to get to the workshop and quickly. 16th is where he is after the contact with Blaine Wilson.
I think overall for Fetterplace, now it's just regathering the car and we'll see what the 34 can do. But overall, the biggest thing, just outside the top 15, Fetterplace needs to have a good run overall. He's one of those drivers that goes back and forth in the points. Had a couple good races at Charlotte with the All-Star race, and then in the Coke 600. But I think obviously the biggest thing for that 34 is just getting through some of these road courses and keeping the car contact to the minimum. Now the 23rd place driver, it's Nick King working his way through 7A, riding behind that 29 Mark Sanchez. But I think the overall thing for Nick King, back on the lead lap after going off track in stage 1, so a good drive and a recovery drive from that 12 car.
On the 12 car approaching now a little bit further up the road is the 29. And this could turn into a battle here as now we go back to the race leaders here as Murray, again, he is trying everything here. You gotta wonder if he's been maybe sliding those rear tires a little bit too much as he's losing just a hair bit of time down this back part of the racetrack as we head towards turn 11. But he's getting closer every so often, smelling the exhaust fumes off of the 54 as we go through turn 11 here to start lap number 36.
Just keeping them occupied. It's what you can say when it comes to your race leaders. Murray trying to get some points built up, still in the top 3 in points. Coffee last week able to jump past him in the standings. Murray expected to be here most of the season for those curious. He came in as the 2 seed over Carmichael, but now at a roller coaster run here as we go back to Petter Place.
Brandon Fetterplace right now through turn 11, sitting 14th right now, has Wilson just up the road here, but it's going to be a little bit of a grind to get up to that 13th spot as behind Fetterplace, Cornette moving up into 15th. Actually, we've had a spin here, and Nigel Christensen currently just been losing spots here like crazy after being the biggest mover and has gone backwards since we talked about that.
And all you can say to that end is commentator's curse. You give someone the spotlight. What do they do with it sometimes? Well, they take that spotlight and just do this. Nearly drive yourself into a barrier. And then, opportunistic time to set it up the inside. Causes a spin around. And hearing tempers are flirting on the radio. Matt Cox popping up on the radio. He's right now wants those battling with Jim Treat in a couple years on circuit. Your race leader is having a moment too. You see them now having to work through traffic again here. It is a teammate, that's the bright side.
That's always the good news if you're Alex Coffey and even Alex Murray. I think we know by now on lap 37 who is the class of the field. I would say it's Alex Coffey. I would say it's Alex Murray. Then you have a big margin back to Timothy Harper, but the other driver we haven't really talked about in a little bit, that's Brandon Bowie. Put him inside the top 10. The 51 machine doing a great job on that recovery drive we talked about earlier. Here he is working through 4A, gets up to 3rd gear. He'll make the braking zone once again for 7A as he sets his sights on Paul Gallimore just up the road. The boss man Barry Sanders also doing a great job up in P7.
Currently, Brandon Bowie is only 1.9 seconds away from Paul Gallimore, and he is really putting on the lap times here. Last lap was a 1:13.6, so something set a little bit of a fire underneath him after that. unfortunate spin that he had at the beginning of stage number 2, but he is moving up the field very nicely here. And right now, currently sitting 9th and chasing down our 8th place runner, Paul Gallimore.
Again, you know how strong the 51 can be. He's right now running a pace compared to the race leaders. That is putting them a bit to shame, upwards of half a second quicker. Lots of traffic versus the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's a madhouse down here in my section of the racetrack. You saw Timothy Harper get around Johnny Shade. Kyle Holden all over the back bumper now at the 23. We'll see if the Holden machine can work his way into a podium spot. Sean Rogers just behind him. Then it's a little bigger of a gap, 1.5 seconds back to Garcia. The boss man Gary Sanders a mere 5 seconds back from Garcia as they make their way down to turn 9.
Right now you can see Kyle Holden doing everything he can to try and get to the back bumper of Timothy Harper as those tires are probably yelling for help. There's a little bit of a lockup. He goes wide. That opens up the door through turn 11 and contact on the exit of turn 11. And guess who gets through? That is Rogers up to P3 due to the mistake there by Timothy Harper.
Bit of a mistake leads to a lot of a mistake. Bit of a snowball effect is let's find out what happened. Harper, remember, on the roll of the dice, had stayed up the front of the field, hoped to keep track position, maybe see where things would lie. And well, things bubbling over once again. Again, it seems to be your active spot here today, Adam. Bumper to bumper contact, very common it seems. All stemming from Harper missing the corner.
Well, that's just turn 11 for you. It's a heavy braking zone and anything can happen there. We've seen it in the actual NASCAR Cup Series where we've seen Tony Stewart get on the tire barriers through turn 11. So anything is possible in turn 11 as we watch Sean Rogers here again. Looking at a replay here, you can see Harper just locks up the brakes, goes wide, gets on the throttle a little bit too much, but good heads-up driving there by Sean Rogers to get through that cleanly.
Absolutely. Still keeping an eye on some of the others, though. They work their way up at the front stretch. We're coming about 5 laps to go now on the stage. 5 laps to work with. Coffey's led the entire way in this stage, just about 14 laps led now today for the 54. He's kept it steady. No one's been able to find a way around him up the hillside. Remember the 45. And then the interesting thing about today, Zach, fuel mileage, expecting to make the distance here for stage 3.
It's obviously good news for plenty of drivers that the fuel strategy game isn't really coming into conversation for stage 3. Usually it does when we get to these road courses and have those wonky lap counts maybe for stage 3, as you see plenty of cars inside the top 10 work their way around. But one reminder, the Icon Apparel Company in-season challenge playing a factor here at Sonoma. Next week we'll go to Chicagoland for round 2, so we'll see what drivers set themselves up for another chase, or not chase, but a battle between some of the drivers working in the challenge. But it's back to Adam as they work into the braking zone of turn 11.
Murray just cannot find a way past this 54 machine out of turn 11. He is just getting a mouthful of the exhaust pipe, but just cannot make the move at all. Coffey doing everything he can to hold on to the race lead.
It's been this way the entire time, and you got to think they're communicating in some way, shape, or form, or at least have some sort of thought process. Cody, what do you have to say?
Yeah, after that contact between Tim Harper and the 97, the 23 feels fine, but guys, the 97 is reporting a tight feeling on that right front, so front end damage for him.
Well, that's not great at all for him. That nose is crushed here, Zach.
Yeah, plenty of contact there from the 97. You see the 23 car, his car looking a little cleaner, I would say, but the battle now for the race lead. Once again, we'll check in on that as they work their way out of the S's down into the high-speed section, heading down towards Adam. We'll see what Alex Murray does this time through turn 10.
Alex Murray doing everything he can to try and set up the move to go down the inside. He might take a look. No, decides to get out of it. But look at how close he is into the braking zone here. Out of turn 11 here once again on lap 41. About to begin lap 42 here at Sonoma.
Time ticking away, still nothing done in regards to that change. so far. Here in a bit of a moment, just tapped with Nico Garcia saying hello to Nick Payne into the final sector, nearly doored each other. They're all seeing some massive separation popping up on the racetrack. Still, traffic going to come into play a bit to end it here.
We'll see how lap traffic affects these two top cars right now as they work their way into the braking zone once again of 7A. On to the brakes, on to the right-hand turn, now back to the left. Coffee gets around Kenny Reel there. Kenny Reel letting both of those cars through the S's. We'll see what Coffee elects to do. The next car in line, though, going to play a factor here, possibly going into turns 9, 10, and 11.
Coffee having to hold on strong here, but is going to have to navigate lap traffic towards the tail end of this stage as we are approaching the green and white checkered flag. And you can see Coffee, he is doing everything he can to hold on to it. Lap traffic getting out of the way nicely there. Not sure about that. Coffee Murray was hoping that would maybe provide a little bit of a pick for him, but not this time, as now we head up the hill here. Back to Brandon Boone, who's up to P8 on his recovery drive after being spun out here in the early stages of stage number 1, and has the number 23 of Harper right in his sights as we cross the start-finish line.
Looking hungry to pick up more positions with a couple laps to work with in the stage next time by. Bowie has been doing very solid on the recovery. He attacks the curves to the right up through 2. Avoids them like it's fire to the left side. Through 3 onward. Better place, by the way, at 14th on his situation. Now a -7 today. And the more you follow along with the 34 today, the more the frustration seems to build. He is quicker, it looks like, than Blaine Wilson. Maybe has pace to get to Davis Retreat just up the road. But for some, it's been a nightmare of horrors on this track, Zach.
As some would say, maybe it's a little scary train action, referencing some Halloween vibes. But look at the race leaders. All over the back bumper was Alex Coffey there, heading through turn 11.
Back to the front of the field for the leaders with 2 laps to go. They make their way up towards 2 with traffic just in front of them. Ryan Catalano with right front fender damage, trying to keep this line steady, isn't moving, stays in front of the leaders, roaming the way through. Catalano still battling.
Well, folks, this is going to get a little tight all over the back bumper. Coffey's going to move Catalano. Look at the frustration there from the in-car camera. He gets moved. Conversation, possibly talking on the radio. A lot of chatter there as the 92 gets pushed out of the way from the race leader. The 2 of them go on by. Let's go to the Top It Off Hot Sauce Company replay. Not a good look, though, for the Top It Off Hot Sauce Company machine. The 92 in front of the 54, and you're going to see going into the braking zone, Coffey all over the back bumper. And look at the frustration. Some heavy nose damage from the 54. I would be frustrated if I'm Alex Coffey. Some damage there to the front end. We'll see how that plays a factor into this one. Some more replay, though, in turns 1, 2, and 3. Look how close Alex Coffey and Alex Murray catch the 92 here going into 3A. That's the biggest thing. Look at the gap just ever get closer and closer going into the braking zone. And you're going to see here, right off the front end, there goes Catalano off into the rumble strips and out of the way, and Coffey and Murray just move right on by.
And just from the radio chatter, Catalano had a black flag that he was trying to serve.
Well, that is interesting. He has still now got a black flag. Remember, incident points, 17x is where they go in. Again, as drivers would go, they'll mention you want to have the space here for the race leader when it comes to the lapper, especially when second is on your bumper. Adam, they're already on the final lap of the stage.
Yes, they're coming through turn 9 now. Alex Coffey with a little bit of damage on his front nose. Coffey could not capitalize on it till right about now. Here they come down into turn 11. He's looking to make the move, but just is not going to be late enough on the brakes. And Alex Coffey looking to hold on strong here at the end of stage number 2.
Green, white checker flag. Coffey may have to think about damage repair, but he doesn't have to think about one thing: points. He gets some here over Murray. Sean Rogers few seconds back into the top 3. Then you have to go another 10 seconds where the next gaggle of cars has grouped together. That's where Brandon Bowie has driven himself to. Back out Garcia and Barry Sanders. Bowie, 6th after being spun around up from the front. Timothy Harper, Paul Gallimore, Kyle Holden, Matt Cox. Right top 10, 24 seconds or so is your separation in your top 10. Second stage is complete. And talk about some feistiness, Catalano is still not happy because he still has to think about, can he even make it to the end with incident points? He already got a black flag from incident points.
Biggest thing here, another thing I want to note, going back to the aero camp, I saw Brandon Bowie all over the back bumper when he was working through 7A there with the boss man Barry Sanders. Do you think Bowie let Sanders go to get top 5 points, right? You got to remember the chase is the bigger picture here, right? Let the boss man go, get some stage points, and help him stay above that cut line.
Take a break. Catching up to the pace car. You're watching tonight's action of the first to Engage Motorsports 250. We continue on after these messages. Pit stop time to start stage 3. As we said, expect drivers to be able to make it on the gas most likely in this stage. Just Prince, Zach Case, Adam Thompson here in the broadcast booth here for this one. Cody Banta is currently working on the stories pit road side. Ryan Power, our producer, for this evening's coverage. Again, working our way through the Icon Apparel Co. in-season challenge. And so far, for the most part, things going status quo for the road course racer at least, Zach, as this gets interesting for those drivers.
I think it's going to get really interesting overall. I think the biggest thing is you got 34 laps, right? Maybe a little less than that when we come back to green. But I think overall it's going to come down to how well do you get off pit road here? Do you take care of your stuff after the race? So we'll see overall who can do the job here in stage 3.
Who can do the job? Who can do the job the best? On that note, Adam.
Well, the 54 of Coffee right now stayed on pit road here, fixed some damage up, and now he's on his way here out of his stall.
And we know he might be a bit frustrated after what happened there, obviously. When it comes to the traffic, it's going to get interesting how this goes. A lot of conversation on the radio. Cody, a lot of damage repairs going on for some of these drivers.
Quick check-in with the 54. That contact between him and Ryan Catalano only costed him 20 seconds worth of damage, and Blaine Wilson had about 1 minute and 19 seconds. So definitely a lot of wedge being thrown in there, and definitely a lot of hammering on going against those hoods. Back to you, Justin.
Absolutely. We mentioned Icon Apparel being involved in the in-season challenge, and of course, they have some different apparel that they work on for various different teams, whether on the local side or whether in sim racing. Partner actually with a fair amount of teams in the iRacing realm, whether that be someone like Edwards, who's seen some of the various designs that they have available over the course of their time on the iRacing side. Very active, Zach, I think you know personally in terms of how much the designs come into play for a lot of these teams.
I mean, as a guy that runs a hockey team, a soccer team, and whatever else you want to call my life, yeah, T-shirts are obviously the biggest thing I've been working on lately in terms of the hockey team. So I'll give a lot of credit to Icon Apparel. They do a great job, a lot of great, awesome designs, obviously overall, and plenty of cool products they put out in the iRacing world, in the sim world, and also for some of the local teams they deal with too in the sporting side.
The 1 to go mark for the caution period here as let's check in with Barry Sanders, one of the top admins here in this series, and he's driving the Icon machine here tonight. Barry, first things first, you're at the broadcast booth, you're up in the top 6. How are you feeling about the race car?
Say again, buddy, I couldn't hear you there, sorry.
How are you feeling about the race car?
I'm feeling pretty good, stable, consistent, just trying to put down good lap times and keep up with these guys. Our road course racing in this league has improved so much, man. So it used to be a guaranteed top 3, now it's more along the lines of top 15, top 10, somewhere in that range. So just trying to keep the tires on it for this last stint, and you know, try to stay up in the top 5, maybe race for a win. I doubt it because they're super fast up there, but just gonna try to stay out of trouble and keep it on the track, man.
And of course, real quickly, Icon Apparel on your race car here tonight. How are you feeling about them coming aboard for the in-season challenge?
Absolutely love it, man. Mr. Martin is a great feller. He's created some hats for us, working on some t-shirt deals. He's made banners for us. They do a lot more than that, but a lot of the people in the iRacing world, you know, like custom-made hats for their race teams. Put your number on a hat, get some t-shirts made for you guys. It's pretty cool stuff. It's been great working with Scott. Love putting his name on the car here and promoting them. Hopefully earns them a little bit of business.
Indeed here. So once you get back to your team, good luck here for this restart.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Justin, I can barely hear you there, but I appreciate it.
Send him back to one of the aero rooms. Try and put him at the right one as we get ready to go for the restart for stage number 3. Just about ready to get fired back off yet again in this race as the entire field will look to get to work on those steering wheels. The Van Looy stickers onboard cams, you see the onboards here. So we'll have 30 laps since we decide the stage, give or take. And should provide some interesting and scintillating racing activity. Ready to go. Ready to go. Field is coming up to the green. Back it away. And a good start for Alex Murray, who's the leader. Alex Coffey in 13th. A spin and a crash. Sanders to the wall. Garcia slams the right side barrier with him. Garcia is the one who snapped loose. They now slide their way through one. Barry Sanders turns himself around over the bridge. We have an hour pile up at the top of the hill. Timothy Harper and a couple others parked, including Jim Treat. It is pandemonium after the restart here.
I mean, look, I'm just caught off guard here. Here's the replay from the Top It Off Cotsouts Company replay, and overall, look at Garcia just tail slap the 88 there. The boss man finds the outside barrier, gets parked there on the outside there. We'll get another chance to look at it here. Different angle, different camera view coming into that left right after the front stretch. And there's Garcia, the tail swap for the 88, plenty of damage. Get some air time on those back tires. Wow, what a change of events there for some drivers inside the top 10.
And really, it all started with the shuffle. Garcia already having issues through the gears, and then gets snapped loose, snaps right into Barry Sanders, and sends them off and crashing as a result of that incident. Some heavy duty contact. Paul Gallimore, take one more look at this incident. Amongst those who was just watching along on the popcorn scene, just hoping, I hope nothing happens in front of me. Boom. That was a look at your top of the Ponce's Company replay to start off the stage. Alex Murray running away up front.
Yeah, the crazier thing here is we didn't even talk about the top of the hill, the incident that happened with Harper and some other drivers, maybe inside the top 15. We'll see if we can get a replay of that. But as they work their way through the S's, Bowie back in P2, now chases down the Alex Murray machine. Sean Rogers coming into the picture. He's P3. Here it is, the Top Off Company, Hot Sauce Company replay here. We're going to go back a little farther. It's the 19th place Timothy Harper machine in the 23 car. Look at Coffee, though, diving up the inside. Some contact there with Fetter Place, and the checkup, Jim Treat getting involved. He puts the 23 car around. Nigel Christensen involved. Some more cars getting piled in after the fact. Everyone else, though, looks like able to get through with minimal contact.
McCott Shield amongst those on the Dodge still. He was amongst those in just outside the top 10. Then bam, into the next parking lot. Alex Murray just set a purple lap time just now. Hearing Nico Garcia is done as everything settled in. Murray leading his first laps of the day.
And just for a series note there, that's back-to-back DNFs there for the Garcia machine, unfortunately. And just a driver that was doing well last week at the Naval Base. Now we come here to Sonoma doing a great job, and just a simple mistake takes him out of the race as Alex Murray continues to work his way through the S's up to turn 9 as he approaches that. And we'll hear from Adam, who got a little quiet there, unfortunately. But Adam, how's it going down there in turn 11?
Well, Alex Murray, a 1.5 second lead over the second place runner, Brandon Bowie, who has just been running through the field here on a recovery drive as we see another replay of the incident off the start of the stage. But Murray right now crossing the start finish line with the race lead and putting down fast lap times.
Still putting together a good set of pace here, if you will, as time ticks away. Brandon Bowie, though, he is up in second with everything. Led 20 laps earlier, wants his lead back. And remember the last time they met, they'll look to fight.
Yeah, we'll see if Bowie remembers what happened the last time they were all running inside the top 3 earlier on in stage 2. We'll see how close he gets. Another driver to note inside the top 8 after some commotion. It's Chris Cornett in the 84 machine, doing a great job inside the top 10. Look at him make his way off of 4A down into 7A. A nice buffer in front of him that he needs to work down. Lane Wilson all over the back bumper, but look at the right front on that 84 machine. A new paint scheme and a new right front for him in stage 3.
As they all come through turns 9 and 10 here, you can see Cornett under pressure from Wilson. As they approach turn 11, Wilson may be thinking about a move here as we head down towards turn number 11. But Cody, what can you tell us from the pit lane?
Yeah, that car is not happy. I'll save you guys that, but it's hectic.
Well, I mean, definitely not going to be happy with an incident right at the start of stage 3 while you're trying to fight for the in-season challenge and fight for surprises. Murray still doing the same thing up front.
I think one thing we also need to add to that, teammates as well, but a half a second gain there for Brandon Bowie. It's going to be another dig and arrow battle, it looks like, inside for the lead here as they work their way through the S's. Bowie trying to get ever so closely, and if you're Murray, are you looking in the rearview mirror or are you just driving forward, Adam?
Well, you're going to be driving forward now because you know Bowie is coming. He passed you on the race start after Murray had the pole position. And Bowie has had a great recovery drive on what is a very difficult road course here at Sonoma Raceway. And Murray, though he is going to be driving away here, he still has over a second over Brandon Bowie.
Taking off now that he's got the clean air, and one of the major things we've seen in the past here. Clean air can be king on the road courses with this next-gen machine. Right now, 51 works his way through. They are catching up the lap traffic. It's Ryan Catalano who is in front of the leader. He said go ahead this time. Let's see if it happens. It does.
Yeah, frustration for that 92 machine. Running right now in 19th, going a lap down. Plenty of damage. He'll let the 51 on through as well. So 2 cars getting by that lapped car of Catalano. We'll see if he affects the rest of the field as they make their way around. Remember, Coffee in P4. We'll see if Catalano lets him go, maybe fights him, or lets the race keep going as they work their way down into turn 10.
Through turn 10, the leaders go. And Brandon Bowie starting to bring it back slowly but surely as we head towards turn number 11. On board now with Alex Coffey as he has Rogers right in front of him. Sean Rogers, who was able to be a beneficiary of some pit stops, so restarted in the second spot, has fallen down to third as we head towards the start-finish line.
Still good jobs going on for drivers like Rogers, holding back the hard-charging Coffee. Remember, started this restart in 13th after his damage repair, is streaking forward already within 10 car lengths. He's 6.5 tenths quicker than Rogers last time by. That's how hard he's going to work to pass the 44.
Yeah, we'll see how the 44 elects to battle here with the 54. It's the battle of the fours here as Alex Coffey gets ever so closer to the Sean Rogers machine. You see the sweatband. Looks like it's doing a great job right now. The red, white, and blue colors there for the 4th of July. Doing a great job. No weird underglow lighting this time in the sim rig for Sean Rogers. He's doing a great job battling inside the top 3.
Sean Rogers has been kind of the surprise here tonight, up 7 spots, but is not the hard charger here so far. That award is going to great car right now as we go on board here with Blaine Wilson trying to chase it down Chris Cornett for that 8th spot, but Cornett just keeping the gap in a nice steady gap between him and P11.
It's got to be the goal for some of the drivers to keep themselves out of trouble, especially with the way things have shaped up early on for a couple of these competitors. Coffey still keeping his way on the charge for the 3rd spot. Soon looking to make the move on the 44, swoops in, nearly to the bumper, gets the bumper coming out the hill.
Yeah, we'll see if he elects to go inside here. He doesn't. He makes a fake for it. Elects to get back in line. The 44 machine now working in front of Coffey. Here is Alex Coffey, though. Battle for P3. Alex Coffey is through. We'll see if Sean Rogers gets back to the back bumper. He's close, but he's not there. Alex Coffey now moves back into P3. And once again, we see Murray, Bowie, Coffey battling in the P3 spot now, but Rogers still trying to hold on to that last spot on the podium. We'll see if he can get back to him.
Rogers is going to have to be a late breaker as they come through turn 10 and down into turn 11. And Rogers is way too far back to make a move. And Coffey, he is going to be absolutely ecstatic right now to be back into the top 3. Got to remember, everybody has had an issue today in that top 3 except for Alex Murray, who has just been very dominant here in stage number 3.
No other way to put it to start things off. They're running within about a second or so of their personal best at the moment. Bowie's not been able to chip away this gap, coming to 21 to go this time.
And I think one thing to note with Alex Coffey, started 13th on this restart. He's all the way back to 3rd, doing a great job on his own recovery run. Another driver on a recovery run, though, it's the points leader, Brandon Bowie. Alex Murray looks to go a little wide there off of 7A. We'll see if Bowie gets closer. He's almost there. Make the battle 0.4. Now 0.3 back from the 22 car. The 51 is closing, and he's closing fast.
Brandon Bowie hard on the throttle here. Here they go through turn number 10, back down into turn 11. He's a little bit far back here, but he can use this opportunity to get even closer to our race leader of Alex Murray. As they go through turn 11, Murray now knows Bowie is there, and we got a battle for the race lead here with 21 laps to go.
Bowie showing the low and run pace. The Aero Machine looking to find a way to get to Murray. Traffic ahead and Nick King. Take up a few moments to get there. Bowie right in the curve. Close up. Murray playing around with the clutch, interesting enough. Not sure what's going on with the 22, but now Bowie is going. You heard the clutch played around.
We knew the battle was going to be good here. The last road course on the schedule for 2026, and obviously everyone knows Sonoma pretty well. We'll see what Bowie elects to do here. He stays in line in 7A. He's going to get closer within a car length, maybe a half a car length, going through the S's. Brandon Bowie is there, folks. It's going to be a battle, another one between these two cars. Give the 22 the lead still. The 51, though, working his wheel a little bit, gets back on the throttle. He's back underway back to Adam.
Murray's going to have to put on a defensive battle here if he wants to hold on to the race lead. Down to turn number 11. Murray's going to stay wide. Bowie's going to be right there. Almost gets to the back bumper of Alex Murray as they come off at turn number 11. And this is going to be an absolute fantastic end to this one with now 20 laps to go.
Working their way up the hill once again. Bowie looking for a place to pounce. Where will the 51 go for it? Within a car length, remember, give or take. So far, we've seen how intense these drivers have been willing to get. Now, Bowie staying within a car length up through 3A.
See what Brandon Bowie elects to do here one more time around this track. 20 laps to go here at Sonoma for the first two Engage Motorsports 250 here on Precision Entertainment. You're watching along right now with the battle for the race lead. It's the 22, the 51, another historic battle here in 2026 between two drivers inside the top three. We'll see what Murray elects to do. Barry Sanders in front of him. Lap traffic might play a factor. He elects to get out of the way, going back into turn 10.
Murray, he is not feeling any sort of, he's feeling the pressure, but he doesn't drive like it right now. Doing a great job holding on to the inside line through turn number 11. But Brandon Bowie, he's going to apply every bit of pressure he can to force Murray into a mistake.
Exactly here as they march their way up. Now, they work their way through two again. This time through Vincent. Going to be closed when it comes to the traffic management up for the top of the hill. Murray rumbles his way through. BMP Machine moves to the inside. Bowie gets a bit loose.
Bowie under braking, gets a little closer to Alex Murray. We do have an update though. The Icon Apparel Challenge, maybe the first upset we're seeing. Cody, what do you got on pit road?
Yeah, I just have a quick update. Since Barry Sanders had to deal with that damage, it looks like Great Car is going to end up with the update here, guys.
Definitely an interesting note there. Adam, you got the battle for the lead heating up once again, heading back towards you.
Well, back through turn number 10, Alec Murray. He is driving very well with especially the pressure of Brandon Bowie. He's thinking at the beginning of the race, I let you have it. But this time, I am not going to allow you to get by me unless I make a massive mistake. And Murray right now, perfect driving here at Sonoma.
You have to be perfect to want to win the race. Here comes the question, is Bowie going to be saving these tires here, knowing there's a chance at the end of the race to try and do something, anything with this mark? We'll have to keep an eye on what the 51 is electing to do as they mark their way again. Still within a car length, clean space to work with. They still have a 6-second cushion for the lead.
Well, you bring up the tire difference. Maybe that's going to be a factor later on. Is Brandon Bowie going to push here, or is he going to elect to just ride around behind Murray and let him use up his rear tires? You see the little bit of a slide coming out of 7A. That's where the tires need to grip up. It happens there at 7A, and it happens down near Adam in turn 11 coming off of it. So we'll see this time by. Is there a little tire slip when the guys get back on the loud pedal?
Well, Brandon Bowie keeps putting up some decent lap times here. As you can see, 1:13.7. And now we're approaching lap traffic into turn 11 as we head back towards Justin here. It's going to get spicy here as we approach 17 laps to go, excuse me.
Jade moves to the left side of the track, gets out of the way of the race leaders. They make their way up through the corners again, up the one under the bridge. Back to the bumper goes Bowie. He rides behind. Jim Treat stays to the left, coming out of 2. Hit by him. Now the 51, looking for a place to swoop. Murray still parks it on the apex, still bumper to bumper.
Is it going to be this time by? He's going to elect to stay in line. Bowie riding behind that back bumper of the 22. It's a Toyota riding in front of a Chevy or another Camry. There he is, folks. There's the race. There's the battle. It's the 51 going to the front. Contact there from Alex Murray as Bowie parks it on the apex. Bowie off and away. He's going to get a good cushion, maybe 2 car lengths in front of Alex Murray. The 2 Toyota Camrys work their way back down to turn 9, turn 10, and turn 11. Here it is, the top it off Hot Sauce Company replay into 4A. You see Brandon Bowie right on the back bumper. He's going to make the hard turn right under braking. And there it is. There is the move for the race lead, possibly the move for the race win. Brandon Bowie there, that you see the contact from the 22, just pushes the 51 ahead. And there it is, folks, new race leader as they get back to the line.
Swap is made, and Murray tries to keep up. Remember, he dropped off during stage 1. Deep send up to 2. Doesn't work this time to get alongside. Now back single file, they go back up through the clouds, up to 3A. Bowie looking to set sail, coming up 15 to go this time.
See if Alex Murray can hang on to the back bumper of the 51 machine. But I think overall, if you're looking at race pace, I think the rear end is gone out of that 22 machine. The rear tires are just losing it here as we go around this race course. Another time through the S's, they get all over those curbings, right? But this is where the grip comes into a factor. We see Bowie get a little more of a better drive off, and they're going to be back under their way down into Adams' section of the course.
Well, unfortunate there for Alec Murray, and if his tires are gone, it's going to be a long 16 laps to go here at Sonoma, while Brandon Bowie's been able to drive through the field and get back out in front like he was in stage number 1.
Bowie looking to try and get win number 6. He's still got to do it for 15 more times without any issues. That's the big conversation point here. We have a note. Jim Treat has just towed the race car, so he's just had issues off screen. Ryan Catalano also just had a moment with Blaine Wilson. A couple drivers off screen are getting into incidents and conversations where the leaders still conversate on the track.
Yeah, plenty of chatter, folks, as you see the cars work their way out of 4A down to 7A, right? Here comes the cars once again. It's the 51 leading the way now over the 22. They make their way through the S's once more. It's 15 laps to go here at Sonoma. We'll see what the 22 has for the 51, but I think overall, Bowie did a great job saving tires. He might run away with this one.
Bowie just, getting that advantage out to just under a half a second, but that is just not enough to take a breath as we approach turn 11. And Bowie right now defending that inside line, goes a little bit wide on the corner exit here as we head back to the start-finish line.
14 laps to now tick away. Bowie marching his way ahead, still holding on by 3/4 of a second. Murray's been a little bit more heavy on the braking into the opening corners, but Bowie continues to have good drive off with the way those rears have handled for car 22. Murray keeps it steady, 13.5 laps to go.
Yeah, riding in car right now with the Toyota Camry, number 22 of Alex Murray. Just continuing to follow that 51 as they sidestep their way into 7A. They make their way off the corner, grip it up on the loud pedal once again. You see a little wiggle there from the 22 going into the S's. Murray doing a great job trying to stay in line and stay in the toe there. A little bit wide there from Murray, a different line from Bowie as they make their way back into turn 10.
Murray, he is unfortunately losing a lot more time now as the laps continue to tick down. He gets a little bit closer in turn 11, but just does not find anything helping him here. And Bowie right now, he is in his comfort zone here at Sonoma.
Looking confident, looking steady as they go. Mind you, in-season battles going to get interesting for some. Better place recovery. He was as low as 16th. He's looking for a top 5 maybe. If he gets back up to the 00. Christensen, Alonso's also took on some tumbles as the race is going on after he was up at the front. A lot of different storylines with Medina and Harper getting close for a transfer in the in-season tournament. Everything is starting to bubble forward. Better place misses the corner in 3. Up the hill, 3A will need to recover some.
He's going to have to get back into the momentum, back into that mojo that he's had. Doing a great job on the recovery drive. Back though to Timothy Harper, P13 right now. This is the conversation that JP was talking about, the in-season tournament bracket. Who is going to move on? Jose Medina in front of him, and you have a battle right here. We'll see what Medina does. The 24 working with the 23. There's Chris Cornett in front of him in 11th. And we'll see what Harper does going into 4A. He dives it in a little deeper. We'll get back in line behind Medina. Look at the battle there for P12 right now. Medina holding on to the transfer spot. Harper in line there. These 3 cars, the closest cars on track right now for position. We'll see if Cornett can get a drive off. He's all over the racetrack though, because Medina all over the back bumper as they go through the S's. We'll see what Medina elects to do here as they work their way back to Adam.
Chris Cornett is feeling the pressure from the 2 drivers behind him with Jose Medina and Timothy Harper, and it just takes one mistake before anything happens. There comes a move here from Timothy Harper around the outside of Medina, but he can't make it stick. Turn 11 so detrimental if you're on the outside lane here, but they're still side by side across the line.
Battle to try and move on with the bracket. Still fighting Medina, having fun on the radio. 11th and 22nd in the seating coming into this tourney. Harper still holds back Medina. They rumble their way out of 2. Harper trying to park the bus. He wants to move on and take on Hochschild in the next round. 23 still fighting hard as they catch up the traffic.
Yeah, just another thing to note there. You got to remember Chris Cornett working his way away from that battle on the racetrack. He's battling Chris Davis there in the conversation. So right now, put Cornett above Chris Davis, transferring on. What a great drive. Here's Chris Davis working P14th right now, off 7A into the S's. The battle though, Kyle Holden is also right on his back bumper. Put Kenny Reel behind him. It's a 3-car tandem slalom as they work their way through the S's.
Well, right now, Chris Davis is starting to feel the struggle here in that 87 car. He has the 99 right behind him. Holden got by him as they approach turn 11. And Davis right now, he's going to just have to hold on for dear life. As you can see, just a little bit damage on the front end of that race car.
And that front end definitely feeling worse for wear as a result of that contact. All this is to say, Murray missing the corner. Just had an issue up at the front. Murray is having brake issues all of a sudden. He is spiraling here, Adam. That was in your section.
Yes, it was, and you can see those rear tires, they are calling for help here as we approach the closing laps here at Sonoma, and that is really going to hurt him as now Coffey will be able to get it just that much closer. Here he goes into turn 11. And you can see he locks up the brakes on the rears, and that is unfortunately his day is currently going from great to all right to now tatters as he's got to worry about Coffey behind him.
Maybe Murray's losing time, moving backwards, I would say, on track right now. A mayday call for the tires on the back end of that car, working their way back into turn 11. Another battle on the racetrack just inside the top 10.
Through turn 11 side by side. Let's see, at the 23 right now of Timothy Harper trying to battle back here. And this is a great battle here just outside of the top 10.
Some off-track notes. Two drivers just got disqualifications. Christensen, Catalano for incidents. Two more for incidents. Black flags, Hochschild, and Treat. The incidents are piling up. The fights are getting aggressive. They're catching up to Great Car in the battle for ninth.
Yeah, they're going to take the fight towards me here in 4A as they work their way to 7A here. Greg Carr inside the top 10. What a drive there for the 25. Remember, an in-season tournament bracket battle right now. Carr versus Harper. The 9 and 10 car on the racetrack. The 24 and the 23 working their way through the S's. Another battle behind them is Chris Cornett working through traffic. P10 though, Timothy Harper riding along him into turn 10.
Harper is right there trying to set up the move, trying to get a little bit closer going into turn number 11. Carr, though, he will hold on to the spot into the corner here, but almost turned too late there for Harper's liking. And Harper, though, he is right there smelling the exhaust pipe of the 25.
Still wanting to find a way to keep himself ahead of Medina to move on to the next round. It's going to get interesting for that in-season challenge from here. And Cornett falling down the order. Bit of a technical blip for a moment for some. Cornett has reached the incident limit. Black flag as well. As off the track, Harper mows the grass. Everybody's off.
Everyone just following their way into that brown grass on the outside of 3A there. One thing to note, Chris Cornett, with that penalty coming down pit road, that puts Chris Davis back in front of him. So now the upset overturned. Chris Davis winning that battle. Remember, Harper in front of Medina. That's another battle in the in-season tournament sponsored by Icon Apparel Co. And look at Harper, slow and steady. Medina getting ever so closely to that 23 car.
Right now, this is the only battle on the racetrack as we go down into turn number 11. Carr right now holding on to ninth over Harper, and Medina, though, he is right there on the back bumper of the 23 as we come out of turn 11, and we are going to go 7 laps to go here at Sonoma.
Down to the final 7 laps or so. Timothy Harper still works his way through. 8 to go, coming to 7. Harper looking to get an insurance spot. Try and get a buffer on the racetrack. Still has not found a way to get alongside car 25. Medina all over the rear end again. This time they all stay on the track.
Yeah, Medina missed the corner there at 3A, so the gap goes back in favor of Timothy Harper as they work their way back to 7A. On the back bumper, though, of Medina, it's Kyle Holden in the 97 machine. He had trouble earlier. You see the damage on the front nose of that car. We'll see if he can get around Medina. That would obviously help out Harper. Another note, Chris Cornett, his day is done. Give him a DNF after getting meatballed a couple laps ago. So put Chris Davis into the next round of the in-season tournament.
Well, good for Chris Davis there as we're heading through turns 9, 10, and into 11. And there is a picture of our drivers. And you can just tell Chris Cornett, disappointing day as he's taken off the gloves here at Sonoma. And now looking at Chris Davis here out of turn 11, sitting 13th, and he's got a very fast 99 reel right behind him.
Really trying to hold on amongst one of the battles that's picking up on the racetrack. Things heating up late as Davis holds his way through the corner. Still making the way up through the hillside. Davis left to the right. The 87 keeps the 2-car length distance.
You could say Kenny Reel is reeling in Chris Davis back up front, though, a little closer, just inside the top 10. The battle for P9 heats up. Greg Carr, followed by Timothy Harper. Jose Medina just behind him as they work their way through the S's another time. 6 laps to go here at Sonoma. The final road course of the season. We'll see what Kyle Holden has to say about it. He works his way down into turn 9 and down into turn 10.
Kyle Holden right there behind Medina. The biggest movers on the screen now. Greg Carr up 13 positions with Mark Sanchez up only 10 right now. Carr right now. Greg Carr has been on a tear here in Sonoma, as we now will have 5 laps to go.
5 laps to plan things out. Carr still has not let off an inch. Still has not had any issues with the time ticking away. Medina going a little bit wider, nearly missed 2. Having a reset as they make their way up the hill again. Separation remains as they battle on.
5 laps to go here at Sonoma. The 4-car train for the battle of 9th right now, working their way through 4A. They'll get back on the throttle here as they work their way in the braking zone of 7A. Who closes the gap? Who closes the distance? Looks like Kyle Holden is there all over the back bumper of Medina. The gap, though, up to Harper. Give it 2 to 3 car lengths as they work their way through the solemn of the S's. Harper doing a great job. Murray, though, the fastest car on track last time by a 10th. The gap, though, up to Bowie, 3.2 seconds. We'll see if the battle for the lead heats up here with 5 to go.
We're keeping our eyes on this battle as a couple of cars go off the racetrack through turn number 10 here. Here's Timothy Harper into turn 11. He is trying to find a way past Greg Carr, but Greg Carr, great exit off of turn 11 as now we go 4 laps to go.
Now as they work, we're at 5 to go, coming to 4 to go, I think is the better way to put it there. Still as they work their way through the traffic. Harper not willing to use the contact. They've now built this good buffer. Medina's struggling. He's been passed by Kyle Holden. Harper's comfortable for his bracket position.
Harper just got to keep the car under him right now, working behind Medina. A couple lap cars coming into this picture as we battle inside the top 10 once again. Harper now onto the brakes, going into the right-hander. A couple tire smokes there, a lockup from Johnny Shade. He's going to stay on the left side. That screws up Greg Carr's entry into the S's. We'll see if Harper can pounce. Maybe a car length, 2 car lengths now through the S's as the Hardy's machine works their way back through turn 9 and down into turn 10.
Greg Carr doing everything he can to stay in this 9th spot here. Has had a great day here in wine country. And down into turn 11, Timothy Harper, he is right there smelling the exhaust pipe off the 25 machine and still cannot make the move, but gets a tighter exit off of turn 11. Further back, here's Kenny Real. He almost pulls up alongside the 87, and finally Kenny Real will get by and goes up into 12.
Nicely done as a result for the 99. All this as well, Alex Coffey has kept himself up to Alex Murray. The battle up at the front under 4, make it under 3 laps to go. Right now the 54 trying to find a way around the boss man for Dig. As they work to dig. These precision power planted machines up the hillside with less than 3 to go.
As those dig cars dig, it's the aero machine of Brandon Bowie that has just taken flight here at the front of the field. Make it a 3-second gap back to Murray. Alex Coffey under a second back in 3rd. And then Sean Rogers in 4th. Matt Cox in P5. That's your top 5 as they run right now with 3 to go. Murray continuing to work his way through the S's. Alex Coffey, however, is almost there. We'll see if he can tighten the gap as they go into the final section of the racetrack.
The battle of the Alex is on here as we go back to Timothy Harper. Through turn 11 was just a little bit closer that time, but still could not make the move. But Harper right there as we cross the start-finish line. Back to you, Justin.
Harper in one of the closest battles of the racetrack. They still have 3 to go for them, 2 to go for the race leaders. This time through, Harper stays close, tries to hunt down. Looking around as the 23 car pushes off again, sets up Harper off the track.
Guess who's going to take advantage of that? It's Kyle Holden. Put him inside the top 10. He takes advantage of the mistake from the 23. The 97 with plenty of nose damage now inside the top 10. What a great recovery drive there from the road course winner of last week at the Naval Base. Put Kyle Holden in P10. Medina still working on the racetrack. He's fallen to 14th. Put Chris Davis and Kenny Real in front of him. But here's the race leader, Brandon Bowie, the 51 machine, sponsored by Premier Setups. Doing a great job running around this racetrack. We'll see what he can do. 2 laps to go. He's got lap traffic in front of him in turn 10.
Brandon Bowie, who's got spun out in the start of stage number 2, was put back in the pack and has had to have a drive of his life to retake the lead here. And here we go. White flag will display this time.
Lead gaming 1 to go, taken this time by Brandon Bowie. The 51 rides up and running away with the race lead. More than 2 seconds picked up for Bowie. Works his way up out of 2. What's been a dominant day at some parts, but a recovery after the spin before.
Brandon Bowie driving away with this one, looking for the 6-pack of wins here at Sonoma in wine country. Another thing to note, Harper down on pit road, put Medina in front of him. A look at the lap traffic here though for the 22 and the 54. The bumper from the 54. The 22 stays in front of him. The battle for second heats up as they work through the S's for the final time in wine country. We'll see what Alex Coffey elects to do as they work their way down the hill. But back to Brandon Bowie, the drive of a lifetime for the 51. He sets himself up for turn 11.
Brandon Bowie, what a drive, sir, after this one. Stand up and take a bow as you go through turn 11 for the final time.
Brandon Bowie, for the 6th time this season, keeps the car clean, taking the field to the house. It's Brandon Bowie who wins at Sonoma. Coffey is amongst those who's gone around to the final lap, but he's held on to the top 3. Murray holds on to second. The field separated close with the top 8 still trying to zoom their way to the checkered.
What a drive there from the 51 machine. Obviously the class of the field has to be the 51, the 22, and Alex Coffey. We'll see Murray work his way to the back bumper of the 51 here under the parade lap, the victory lap for the 51 machine. Obviously some contact earlier on. I'm sure Murray a little upset at himself maybe for that move, but obviously the 51 able to drive back around the 22, around the 54, and basically around the rest of the field. What a great drive from Brandon Bowie, the boss man, giving him some love as well as another Aero win here in Sonoma.
And another note here, Greg Carr let Kyle Holden by. Not entirely sure why, but did slow up for Kyle Holden to take the 9th spot.
One of the things to watch for on the standings as currently the field working its way to the celebrations, if you will, for Brandon Bowie. He'll look to try and burn it on down in a moment or two. The 51 had to put in a lot of effort here tonight. But hey, job done. After getting spun around for the race lead, he ends up being the one with the last lap and the most laps led. He'll be the one going to Victory Designs Victory Lane tonight from Sonoma Raceway in the Napa Valley. Brandon Bowie, looking for somewhere to burn it out, finds the place. Trying to bring up a little bit of smoke here. Part of the celebration. Forget it. Job done tonight. As he continues to burn it out, we'll take a quick step aside. Post-race coverage coming up. You're watching the first 2 Engage Motorsports 250 on Precision. Welcome back to tonight's coverage of Moonshiners Racing League, the GMD Janitorial Cup Series. So we finish things off here at Sonoma with post-race coverage. Brandon Bowie gets the victory tonight, leading 37 laps. Here this evening, Alex Murray, Alex Coffey on the top 3 spots as well. Sean Rogers finished down in 4th, with Matt Cox coming back from a speeding penalty to 5th. Brad Fetterplace came back from his lowest 16, 17 spots to finish in 6th. Paul Gallimore in 7th. Wayne Wilson in 8th with Greg Carr and Kyle Holden amongst your top 10 Zach.
Yeah, just outside the top 10, 1 lap down. Kenny Reel finishing P11. Chris Davis moves on in the in-season tournament bracket in P12. Timothy Harper holds on to P13. Jose Medina in 14th. Mark Sanchez 3 laps down in 15th. Johnny Shade gets credited with 16th. Chris Vinson 4 laps down in 17th. Barry Sanders, the boss man, finishes 18th. Chris Cornett and Blake Hawshield round out the top 20.
But first goes the way of Nigel Christensen with Ryan Catalano, Jim Treat 23rd. King, Northright, Garcia, Metler, and that was it. Who took the green flag here tonight in this one. Gonna have 4 interview opportunities here tonight, instead of the usual 3. That 4th is standing by with Zach on the radio. Sean Rogers ends up putting together a solid performance there, Zach.
Yeah, well, the 44 machine doing a great job finishing P4 tonight. So 4s across the board. Sean doing a great job finishing inside the top 10. How was the track and how was the car?
Car was pretty quick. I didn't have the pace the 3 in front of me, but car was fast. The track is a lot slicker than some of the other league races I had done so far this week. So that was a little bit of adjustment early, but all in all, I'm happy with 4th. These road courses, I'm not the best on the road, so I got some good stage points and some good, good finishing points. So we'll take it, not on the next.
Well, obviously, you will take it, right? A great job getting through the final road course of the season. Now you move on to Chicagoland. We haven't seen that track in a couple of years. How do you really attack the testing and the practice going into that one?
I'm just attacking like any other week. Obviously the Cup Series, like in real life, haven't been there in quite some time. But running officials, I've driven it, quite a few times over the years. So just kind of approach it like any other week. It's just another mile and a half. It does have a little more character than some, like a Kansas or a Vegas. So yeah, I'm ready to. I've been focusing on Sonoma, so I haven't even run a lap yet. So we'll start working on that, and we'll see how we end up there.
We talk about the Icon Apparel Co. in-season challenge, and you move on to the next round. So congratulations, beating out Catalano tonight. You were the 7th seed. Now you face off against Paul Gallimore, who got a bye into round 2. How do you really get going against Paul Gallimore? Is there any tension? Is there any crap talking maybe a little bit you want to do? Or what's the strategy against Paul?
There might be some internal crap talk, and Paul and I are really good friends. So yeah, it's cool that we get to face off with each other. It should be a good matchup. He's probably a little better at mile and a half than I am. That's probably my worst type of track. So, but in this league, anything can happen. So we shall see.
Anyone you want to thank tonight for the P4 finish?
Yeah, shout out to my sponsor, Icon Apparel. I know that they sponsor a bunch with us, so shout out to them. Shout out to my dad. I know he was watching tonight. He was sipping rum runners by the pool, watching on his phone. So shout out, Dad. Hope you had a good time. And then shout out to the guys at BMP. It's a great group of guys, good friends of mine, and we're always pushing each other to be faster. Shout out to Barry for putting this league on. He has to deal with a lot of BS from a lot of us drivers. So for him to hold it together, and put on this great league. And then you guys, best in the business. I love going back and watching these broadcasts, and can't wait to watch this one. And sorry I had my camera off. I wasn't with 4th. I was not ready for this. So thanks. Yeah, I just wasn't ready. Otherwise, I'd have been on it, and I'd have had the headband on and everything for you guys. So sorry I turned it off a little early.
Hey, thank you for the awesome words, and we appreciate you putting the headband on for the 4th of July theming, I think. So great job, good finish, and we'll see you next week at Chicago.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Sean Rogers finishing P4 tonight. We'll move on to P3.
Hey, Alex, it's It's us in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, certainly an interesting race for you. Just talk about going from P13 to P3.
I just had to kind of ship it. Everybody checked up for that wreck that was off the track on the right side, and I was already 3 wide middle when it happened, and kind of just kept my momentum and rolled through everybody that was checking up. So I didn't hit anybody on the way through, so that's a plus.
And just speaking of the battle, you were talking about it going 3 wide, but a little bit of a conflict between you and the 92. Just, got any words for the 92 team or anything about that?
Yeah, I don't know how much good words are going to do. I mean, it's kind of the same stuff every week, but just battling with 2 to go for the stage win, and most everybody else we had went by just, kind of respected leaders and stay out of the way. And then I had Murray right behind me, I couldn't give up that much time, so I put the bumper to him. He didn't hang on to it, but do it over again, I'd probably do the same thing. So I can't really say too much about that.
And just speaking about the bracket here, great car with the upset over Barry Sanders. Strong showing from him tonight. How do you look to defend him heading into Chicagoland, and what are your thoughts about going into Chicagoland next week?
I'm against Greg Carr.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Greg's a good driver. He keeps the car clean pretty frequently, so I think as long as I don't wad it up, we should have a good battle with him. Never know what can happen though. At Chicagoland, it's been pretty tight. I would say pack racing this week, but it's been pretty tight field, so never know. Hopefully, we can just keep the car clean and come out the other side on top.
Do you have any final shout-outs or people you would like to thank?
Oh, yeah, shout out to everybody at Dig, Nigel, Corey, Blaine, Tim, Johnny, Murray, and Caden. Shout out to all those guys, and y'all for doing the broadcast, Barry and the admins for putting the league on every week. Shout out to my mom. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday to my mom. I know she's watching. And shout out to Precision Speed Solutions for giving us a rocket ship today. I think if we didn't have to start so far back in that last stage, I think we could have had a shot at it, but unfortunately we didn't. But I mean, here on talking to y'all on P3, I'll take it, and look forward to next week.
Well, look forward to seeing you out on the racetrack, and happy birthday, Miss Coffee.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
That would be, once again, Alex Coffey coming away with the top 3. Second spot today. We'll catch up with Adam. It's Alex Murray that stands by with him.
Alex Murray here, our pole sitter today, but just one spot short. Alex, the second place has got to feel kind of like a bit of a disappointment tonight.
It's a disappointment, but still a good points day. And I had a strong car, and then I goofed it by making some adjustments and didn't take them out for the last stage there. So can blame that one on me. And got into Brandon, and at least he won it after that whole ordeal. So it worked out. We got some good points, and we'll move on to next week.
And of course, the bracket challenge here. You'll face off against Mark Sanchez next week. That's got to be a little bit of a confidence booster knowing that you're moving on and can be in a very strong position next week.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll be out of town next week, I believe. I think we're going to Cincinnati for the karting stuff. So, yeah, I didn't really have a chance to make it to the end there just with real-life obligations. But, we'll still carry the momentum on to, I guess, Homestead or wherever we go after Chicagoland.
Was there anything you could have done there at the end to try and get back by Brandon Bowie tonight, or was Bowie just that much faster?
His car was really good under braking. I feel like that's where he probably had us beat the most, and then I just made some minor mistakes that let him get away from me a little bit.
locked up a couple times, and just trying to chase him back down. Just made some mistakes and lost him. So he definitely was superior under braking for sure. I think our cars were pretty evenly matched around the entire track. Just he had a little bit more in the brake zones. So need to look back and figure out kind of where he's beating us and how he's beating us under the braking. And I know there's no more road courses this year, but next year hopefully we can come back stronger and get a couple wins on road courses.
And who would you like to thank for this second place run here tonight?
Precision Setups, Shamrock Auto Care, Quarter Automotive, G League Gaming, PayRVA, everybody at Dig Esports, you guys for broadcasting this, and just looking forward to carrying the momentum on.
Well, thank you, Alex. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we'll see you in a couple weeks here.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and I'll hand it off to Justin, who is in the Victory Designs Victory Lane.
Again, it's another victory for Brandon Bowie. You had to work a little bit for this one. How would you describe your comeback after you had to spin around in the early going of this one?
Yeah, that was wild. I mean, I'm thankful to be able to be here, honestly, because I did not think that I'll be able to get back up there. The stages and kind of the way how they kind of played out. I even thought about maybe flipping the stage and coming to the end of stage 2 because I just wasn't sure like how far up I could get, and it just so happened that it's like, you know what, I'll just stay out and kind of see how it kind of shuffles out. I felt like if I pitted, like, yes, I would get to the lead, but then I would also be on 2 or 3 lap boat tires. And I knew how important tires was, so I was just like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna just stay out and kind of see how things go. And the situation, still not even sure what happened with Nico as he got loose right in front of me. That kind of, I hate to say it, but I kind of paved the way. Because a lot of people kind of checked up, so I kind of allowed not to have any pressure from behind, and then I could just focus on moving forward. So, things kind of just worked out the way it did.
Well, on that note, things worked out well for another driver in this field, Kenny Reel. He's going to be your matchup in the next round. How do you feel about Kenny Reel and how you stack up against the 99, who's been a driver improving this year?
Kenny.
Like, Kenny, is that a good or a bad one?
Kenny, in my opinion, Kenny's a Ryan Newman, honestly. Not like physical wise. I meant like he's just hard to pass. Kenny has definitely been getting better over time. I've known him before this league, so he's getting faster. Road courses, I know he still struggles on, but the oval side, I've been kind of keeping an eye on him. So it's going to be interesting if I would say that Kenny probably, especially next week, is Chicagoland. I think he's pretty good there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes like top 5. So it's going to be definitely a battle between me and him, especially if he stays out of trouble or both of us stay out of trouble. I think it'll be definitely entertaining.
So with that being said, you mentioned already with the Chicagoland side of things, how do you feel about how the track's going to race with this car now that it's been a few years since we've gone there in real life?
Well, I can tell you for sure that doing a couple races already, it has been a tire shredder for sure. I've done 2 races and I've blown 2 tires in both my races. So it's going to be very, very important to save your tires. It's going to be important to understand also your fuel mileage, because that's going to be important as well. It's going to be whoever can take care of the car the best. And whoever can do that will probably stay up front and have a really, really good shot to win. But strategy will also play into factor. And that would also allow, maybe a new winner to come up there and make something happen, which of course would be exciting as well. So I don't know. I mean, I love Chicagoland. I mean, I think it's fast. I don't know why NASCAR. I mean, I understand why NASCAR took a break from it, but I'm happy that it's back. I would definitely prefer Chicagoland over the Chicago Street Course any day. So I'm hoping that this stays on the schedule because I am really excited for next weekend, how the race possibly could go.
Any shout you'd like to give here today?
Yeah, I got to thank, of course, Team Arrow, for allowing me to join them. Barry, sucks what happened to Barry there with Nico. Again, still not sure what happened there. Definitely sucks for both of them. I think both of them definitely had a solid top 5, top 10, both cars. So it kind of sucks for them. Got to thank, of course, Premier Racing Setup for providing setups week in and week out. This setup was pretty sporty. Took me a little while to kind of understand what we had, but once kind of got going, I kind of understood, like, okay, yeah, we got something that can compete. So shout out to them. Of course, want to give a shout out to Mamacita Foundation. We want to check them out, give them, you can donate to them, or you can just check out the website. It's a great website as well to kind of see what the kids are doing on a monthly thing. Got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Got to thank the league for racing here at Sonoma. Not one of my favorite tracks at all, but it is it is what it is. I'm not going to talk too bad about tracks. I thank the family, and I think that's it.
Well, congratulations on win number 6 this season, Brandon. You get it done here tonight.
Thanks, Justin.
Brandon Bowie from Victory Designs Victory Lane here this evening. Now, let's talk about next race. That's going to be an interesting one because it's for the first time in a long time, real road racing going to Chicagoland Speedway. That'll be to start the middle of the month of July, if you will. July the 8th, 8 p.m. start time. Once again, for Chicagoland, be sure to tune in for this one because it's going to be an entertaining one, I think, possibly, guys. Don't know about you, Zach, but that track, when it's been on iRacing official schedules, has been a fun one to race at.
I mean, it's definitely been a couple fun ones this week overall. So I think the biggest thing is the cool part is obviously take care of the stuff, take care of your tires, and get ready for some wall riding maybe up towards the wall like Kyle Larson and some guys that want to dip low to that white line. So definitely going to be a fun one at Chicagoland next week.
What do you say about Chicagoland, Adam? Adam.
My apologies there. Chicagoland, probably one of the best racetracks that has made a return to the NASCAR calendar, and not a whole lot of data, but some guys have some opportunities to run in some officials this week to get some time acclimated to the racetrack, so we should have a good time there next week.
And it should be a fun time, to say the very least, when we go back racing here in the Moonshiners Racing League next time out here on Precision Entertainment. But on that note, it's just about time to say goodnight for this evening's coverage here from Sonoma Raceway. I'd like to thank everyone a part of tonight's coverage, and thank you, the viewer, for watching along with tonight's racing action. Of course, it's been a very busy, packed booth here this evening. Alongside myself, had Zach Case in the booth alongside M. Thompson. Also joined by Cody Banton down on pit road with Ryan Bauer, our producers and cameras driving with Watch Sim Cams. But that note means it's time to say goodnight for tonight's coverage of Moonshiners. Thank you for tuning in, for watching tonight's coverage of the first to Engage Motorsports 250. We'll see you next time out when we go to Joliet, Indiana, and Illinois, I should say, and have some fun next week.
neon light. Trading pain in the heart of the fight. Shifting gears till the edge feels right. Start 'em up, hear the engines cry. Let the thunder roll, leave no doubt. All or nothing when the checkers come out. Doors beating doors in an all-out fight. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Wednesday night! Legends born in the heat of the fight. Trading pain under stadium lights. Racing roots run deep here. We're racing on a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Every track has a story to tell. Every wall has been one driver's hell. Back in the saddle we go. Ring the bell like a moonshiner. We're riding on rails. Checkers all records. Send it in, set sail. Legends born in the heat of the fight. Trading pain under stadium lights. Racing roots run deep here. We're racing on a Moonshiners Wednesday night. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Oh. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night.